Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, the first one, together with Turin Giants in 2026. While we are speaking, Milan is playing at the moment. Milan is also losing. We'll speak about Serie A, the hopes to enter again that Scudetto run, 50 points in the round 2, said Max Allegri, if Juve wants to win it, but we'll also speak about Mercato. Tonali, Chiesa, Fratesi, Senesi, Miretti, McKennie, Tudor, Dusan Vlahovic, Guido Rodriguez, and much more, together with our friends. Buongiorno, Zach, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Beppe. I'm so glad to be back. I missed you. It's been a few weeks now. I didn't even know, like Thursday, Christmas came around. I'm like, I'd rather be with Beppe. I guess I'll spend it with my family. New Year's came around. I'd rather be with Beppe. I guess I'll celebrate and pop champagne, but at least we are now right in the world and back together.
Welcome back, Zach. Buongiorno, buonasera, Fred.
Buonasera, ciao a tutti, buon anno a tutti. Glad to be back. It's been a while, like Zach said, and I'm very happy that we have our Thursday appointment now back, so we can talk about all these things that are going on in the Juventus world.
It's a lot indeed, because the last 2 weeks, indeed, because of Christmas and then New Year, we didn't do it, and now we are back with every Thursday, except of strange things that are coming in terms of planning. But we should be here again, and usually we are always doing it at Thursday 10 p.m. So for people that are watching live, we are live. For people that are watching in replay, thank you. And for people that want to listen to us in replay instead of watching, you know that from a few hours after the live or the day after, you can listen to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, and all the audio streamings on the channel of Turin Giants. That being said, buongiorno e buonasera also to the people that are writing in the chat, like Alexa B543. No idea what he's speaking about. I think the dubious rumor of Fratesi to Turkey is designed to make us bite and pay what they want. I hope we don't deal with them, not hating, but zero faith on Comoli to do a good deal with the Cyclops. We'll speak about Fratesi later. Buongiorno, Takishi. Ciao, Bogdan. Ciao, Andy. Big Lips. Zero delays. Amazzako. Juve fan for life. Davide Galeone. Ciao, Mas. Buongiorno, Fabione. Ciao, Ale518. And also a special hello to Sir Raz, nearly 3 years as a member on the channel, and he's waiting for that new badge to be unlocked, but also big strengths, because I know that for familiar reasons he's a bit off in these days, so big strength to the family. Valentino. Buongiorno a tutti, welcome back, Thomas McLuff and all the people in the chat. Allora ragazzi, a lot have happened since we were not there. A few games were played, a lot of victories, one draw that could have threw away everything that we were building. How are you feeling in Juve? 36 points after round 1. 10 Serie A games of Spalletti, plus the other attention because they just scored Milan. On one of the weaknesses of Juve, the corner kicks, with Adrien Rabiot deflecting it for Christian Pulisic 1-1. It is what it is. How are you feeling, guys, about the Juve world at the moment?
Spalletti has this team playing better than we saw them play, more purposeful than we've saw them play under both Tudor and Motta. And as much as we are where we are on the table right now, which is tenuously fourth on goal differential, you see what he's been able to do over the last 10 games, winning 8 of them, outplaying Lecce in the game that we draw, obviously, and then going crazy against the Napoli game.
He touched it with a hand. He touched it with a hand. So sorry, guys.
I'm
watching the game of Mina. He clearly touched it with a hand. He entered with the hand. Oh, you need to cancel that goal. They need to cancel it. Sorry,
they
guys.
will. They will probably keep us posted.
They will if your check clears, Beppe. If their check clears, then they'll do it. But I think you look at what Spalletti's done with his team, and you kind of wish and wonder what it would have been like if he had started the season with this team, because we're playing really well right now, complete football, both on the defensive side, especially in the midfield that we said for so long we were so weak. And as much as it might not always be coming from the forwards, we're scoring goals in games. And that just makes me really optimistic for the second half of the season.
I agree. I think I was the only one out of the three of us, or the most enthusiastic one when we got the news about Spalletti. And I'm happy for once that I'm a bit right for now. Um, yeah, I know, push the brakes, pump the brakes, but you can see a big difference. And I don't, you have to assess the situation at the end of the season where we either will or will not obtain our objectives. That's another question. But you can see a switch in a mentality, playing mentality. You can see a switch in atmosphere, locker room vibes, so to speak. And just for this, because that was my strongest thing that I was worried about. Will Spalletti will be able to turn that around, because that's your fundamental issue at hand at the time, and he did. So goals canceled. Sorry. So with regards to that, I'm very happy, and it just goes to show, because a lot of people, especially in chat as well, and no hate on anybody, but a lot of people are saying the team is what it is. No coach will have such an impact that they will play better. But now you can see that a lot of people say a coach has maximum 10% impact on the team and how they play. That it's just not true, because we have the same people, even less, with some people being out injured, and it's day and night difference. So I'm excited. I wouldn't say I'm confident or optimistic, but I'm excited, and I feel tension when Juve is playing, and I didn't have that in the years prior. It was like meh, and now I'm still getting fired up, hyped up, and for me that's amazing to have that feeling back again. So thank you, Luciano. I know he's watching.
Ah, Ciao Luciano. No, I hope not. No, I must. No, no, no. If he's watching, I think he will be extremely happy about what I'm saying about him. So I have been extremely harsh on him on the Napoli game.
Deservedly
Extremely
so.
harsh. I
Deservedly.
think, yeah, I think deserved, and he admitted it as well the week after. So I was not totally crazy, but we spoke about the Napoli game. But except of that, I didn't see Spalletti doing a major mistake. It has an impact that is incredible. And I didn't want Spalletti at Juve. I didn't want him at all. My concerns with Spalletti are not the immediate impact, even if he's doing much better than I was thinking he would have done. But it's the problematic situation when it goes into a dip. That's where we see where historically where we see the problems of Spalletti. Also, I was really curious about he would do with a team that he is not coaching in Retiro in preseason, because he goes full power in that preseason to have a mega boost. So arriving there on the spot would have been potentially dangerous. Can I say, and then maybe we can open to the topic, can I say that maybe a bit of what we are seeing with Spalletti is also thanks to Tudor? I mean, he had no preseason because of the Club World Cup. And what we understood back then, and I think that we even said it here on the channel, we said this team would physically grow later in the season because you were obliged to do a light preparation. And we know that Tudor is not at the level of Spalletti in terms of coach, will never be. Spalletti is levels above him in terms of all the aspects. But if there is one thing that Tudor always pay attention for, is the physical conditions of his players, playing with intensity and that preseason preparation. With the light one, I really think that he was postponing it for a bit later. And Spalletti probably arrives at the moment where the team is running.
I disagree with that to some extent. I don't disagree with your point in terms of a team growing throughout a season.
To be sure, because then people will not understand. I didn't say the way of playing, the combination, the patterns, the vision. That's not what I'm just speaking about. Physical condition. That's it.
Yeah, but towards the end of Tudor's reign, shall we call it, the team was playing like they had cinder blocks on their feet. He's gone one game, Brambilla comes in, and we saw this team that was running around like crazy. And I think I agree with you that we were going to see physicality change throughout this season. I was hoping that it was be like you described, and not we all get injured because of the extra games in our legs. But from Tudor leaving to Brambilla ball, showed such a stark change that I think certainly physicality played a role, but maybe a minimal role in the change we see in this team. I think the change with this team has all come down to mentality.
I agree with both of you to an extent, but I feel that physicality is one thing. Physicality is something you can train on, and that's why you need a preseason in order to get everything in order physically. On the other hand, if mentally you aren't feeling very well, then it has aspects and influence on your physicality side as well. And I think that was the whole issue, that a lot of players just weren't comfortable, didn't feel good or right on the pitch, or in terms of what they needed to do or what they needed to perform. And I found them at times confused as well. If you look at some games that Tudor played, you could see his definitive Tudor style, but you also have a lot of players on the pitch like looking left and right, not knowing what to do, and that's gone. But if you as a player spend 5, 6, 7 games in that mindset, then it's very, very frustrating for you individually, and it also will show on the team. So I think, and that's what I meant when I said in the start, like the basics, the fundamentals that we're now building, that Spalletti is basically laying there, are for me much more valuable than looking back at what issues there were or there will arise, because there will be other issues with Spalletti, but I'm confident that he can handle those, whether it be a World Cup or a Club World Cup or whatever it may come. I have more confidence in him to handle that than I ever did in the last 5 years.
No. Yeah, go Zach. Sorry.
Maybe one benefit is Beppe, you said we'll see how he is in a dip. Maybe it was an advantage for him to join when we were already in the dip, so he could just kind of get that out of his system, because we were morale wise and table wise really low. Morale was low, but we were 7th in the table. We were not playing well, like Frederic said. He comes in our first games. We won the first one, but then we drew those next 3 against very winnable opponents. That was kind of the lowest we've been.
It's easier to come in when things are going bad. Huh?
But that's my point, is that you put a lot of pressure on him. We kind of get that wash that out of his system, as opposed to coming in when things are good and then things dip. He's already dealt with the team and worked with them mentally through a period where we were in panic mode, right?
And he's still not happy. I mean, because that was for me the main takeaway after the game against Sassuolo. You would assume that a lot of coaches would praise their team above and beyond, like in every interview, and say, oh, this is good, and feel good about themselves as well, because he has put something down already. But then my man Spalletti comes out and says, well, I'm not happy, this and this and this is not going well, and we are Juventus and we should learn, and this is not okay.
I must say that I'm extremely aligned with every post-game interview of Spalletti.
Yeah.
Every post-game interview I'm aligned, because he's telling me what I want to hear, and even more that I need to hear, which is really, really nice, because you are able after the game to understand what went well, what went wrong, except of the penalty situation, Jonathan David, Locatelli, except of that one where he's defending a bit, and actually he didn't really see what happened when he spoke at the microphones. He tried to address it a bit in press conference pre-game. Except of that, I think that he was right on a lot of things, and I'm super happy about listening to him also in post game. Usually post game, I don't listen to the interviews. I don't like post game, because you hear the evident. It was we did well or we did bad. We have to do better. With Spalletti is really, really pushing on things that you see, that you want to say, or that you just said while you were live. I enjoy it. Now, the impact of Luciano Spalletti is fantastic. Hopefully, we will never see the bad moments, because that's where I fear he has difficulties to manage them. So let's see. I'm really, really curious. Ragazzi, Mercato goes totally crazy while it's still 0-1 in San Siro. Mercato is open since the 2nd of January. We are the 8th of January. We didn't announce a new player. We didn't sell a player. I'm always a bit. I think that when you need players, you need to bring them at least on the 3rd of January. Last year we waited the 3rd of February for Lloyd Kelly. So will a player come before the 15th, or will we wait again the last week of January between the 26th and the 2nd of February?
For timing, I got to turn it over to my man Frederic. Beppe, as you know, we run collectively a transfer show on Turin Giants called The Scoop, and Frederic's my man with the inside plan. So, Frederic, what does our timetable look like?
The timetable is that there is no timetable. There's a lot of back and forth between Ottolini and Comoli Modesto Chiellini. For what I know is that tomorrow, Saturday at the latest, there should be like this big meeting between everybody and management. They are aligned on certain names, but the focus now, or that's what I've been told, Beppe, correct me if I'm wrong, if you know something more or less or otherwise, but from what I know is that Ottolini is against buying players just to buy them in terms of just normal squad depth. He rather prefers to wait for the summer and get in qualitatively good players instead of now, you know, between hyphens, panic buying.
So you're throwing cold water on the Chiesa rumors. Is that what you're doing, Frederic?
No. Chiesa and Juventus. Chiesa is open to join Juventus. Juventus is open to sign Chiesa. There's just a team in the middle that's called Liverpool, and they don't want to lose money on the Chiesa deal. They bought him for cheap, but that doesn't mean that they are willing to lose money at this point. And I think this is the main issue for now. I think Juve is very happy to have Chiesa with a possible extension if he does well, but not an obligation.
Yeah.
The obligation is what's killing, from what I hear, the negotiations at the moment. So I think the Chiesa deal, I'm a bit more optimistic about a potential deal. I just don't know the timeline, and I sure hope that they won't accept the obligation, because for me, Chiesa is a big question mark. But if I look at it the other way, if I put him next to Zegrova and Conceição, and I have to choose one of the three on that position, I'd go for Chiesa. And if you ask me, do you think that Chiesa can fill in for Yildiz at well at certain games? I think so too. So I'm more interested in Senesi. Bring me Senesi, not for now. Bring him for June. Get him ready. Make him sign a pre-contract. Do whatever you need. If there's one name that I like, then it's Senesi for me.
To fill in on what you said, because you said, Bev, I don't know if you are lying or not. From what I know, it's not Ottolini that will take care of Mercato winter. He's there. He will, of course, participate in the meeting, give his advice, maybe give some ideas, probably of players that he follows, he has contact with, ex-players that he wasn't. Like, for example, we are watching now Norton Cuffy that is playing. Of course, it's not that he will be there and just stay silent, but he will not really actively take the responsibility on the transfer market. That's not the idea of Ottolini, and not even sure if he will be totally responsible for the summer mercato. But that's another story.
No, he won't.
Voilà.
Sorry.
Then on the Federico Chiesa idea, the backstage story is that it's actually Luciano Spalletti that is asking, not for Chiesa, for a vice Kenan Yildiz.
Yeah.
Then they are looking around and the name of Federico pops up. So it's not the we need Chiesa, it's we need a vice Yildiz. Or Comoli says, oh, you have Yildiz. Who do you want to put there? You have Yildiz. Or they say, yeah, but if we don't have Yildiz, we have a huge big problem, especially in that 4-2-3-1 that we are starting to play.
Mm-hmm.
And even in that 3-4-1, because the two styles of play are mixing. We will defend with 3, we will attack with 4, we will. It depends how you are lining up. I really think that, for example, against Sassuolo, the idea was to play with 3. but the game went so well, so fast that we immediately switched with four. So it's fluid. It's not really one static thing. But anyway, in that position on the left, you have Yildiz. Yeah, but what if Yildiz is not there? Is the answer from Spalletti, and he's totally right on that. And then looking around, you have the name of Chiesa. This an opportunity, and it's true what Fred says. Uh, you can play him on the right, you can play him on the left, you can play him in a 4-2-3-1 with him on the left, with Cannon in the middle. You can do a lot of things. I just hope that it's clear for Chiesa that if he comes, he's vice Yildiz and that he accepts that. Because if the idea is, and no, we need to play a 4-2-3-1 with Chiesa on the left, Cannon in the middle, and one between Conceição and Jagrova on the right, if we play a 4-2-3-1, then you're not signing a vice Chiesa, a vice Yildiz. Then you're signing Chiesa to actually put Yildiz. And I think that that's one of the possible problems of Spalletti, that fetishism of wanting to put Cannon as a number 10 behind. Give him time to grow. Give him time to understand that position. And he will one day be there. But at the moment, he's really feeling extremely well starting on the left. You see that that's this position. That's where he's comfortable. So don't push too hard to do that, because I think that if you put a Chiesa on the left, a Cannon in the beginning weeks, you will see a drop from Cannon. That being said, there is another option that could be, and that I said on Juventus in Italian, that I said, if you sign a Chiesa, I don't really understand because the salary is high. I'm not speaking about a loan. I'm speaking about signing him permanently with no option, but then an obligation. One of the problems is that you are signing a player that is 5 million euro net per season. It's Chiesa. You like him, you don't like him, physically, not physically. If you sign Chiesa, okay, 1 month he wants to be a vice, but then he doesn't want to be a vice Yildiz anymore. He wants to play correctly. So you need to be aware of that the contract of Yildiz is not signed today. Are you looking for a backup already for Yildiz? Or not looking for a backup, but you prepare your plan B, worst case scenario. So you need to take ABC to me, and that's where I wanted to launch the question that I pinned here from our friend Mr. IMF, that said, how do you see a future without Yildiz?
I told you guys last time we were on 3 weeks ago to sign him immediately, Yildiz. I know that Frederic was pumping the brakes a little bit, but this is a situation where, as a team, from a marketing and sporting perspective, he is the guy. And when we talk about a future without Yildiz, I hope we're talking about 2035, not 2026, 2027.
It all depends. A future without Yildiz is doable. We sold players like Vialli, we sold Baggio, we sold Zidane. But we had other management then. We had a Luciano Moggi that sold one player and brought in four potential world-class players. If our management is up to that task and they can do it, then we can sleep easy. At this point, if we have to answer that question now, I think everybody's heart will go into failure and cardiac arrest. So I'm not too confident that we can do the same thing that Moggi did, Giraudo did, even Marotta did at the time. So, for me, every player is replaceable. I've seen a lot of players come and go in my history as a Juventino. It all depends on who you get in that place and what do you do with the budget. I mean, Yildiz, who knows? Maybe you can find a team that's willing to pay 200 million for Yildiz, which is a lot of money. If you spend 200 million on 3 koopmeiners players in terms of flopping or presence or what have you, well, then you've committed sporting suicide and financial suicide. So it all depends on what the people in management have in their heads. But I don't see Yildiz leaving this year. I see him leaving next year. In my opinion, not insight or sources or whatever. If he'll extend, it doesn't matter. It'll only make Juventus's position stronger in terms of asking for a transfer sum. But I see him leaving next year, eventually, with a lot of hope and a lot of the year after. But I don't see Kane on spending more than 2 years after this one with Juventus. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, my
Yeah,
gut
yeah.
feeling.
But
I mean,
if he stays and the team is doing what they are promising, he can even stay in 2 more years, 3 more years, depending on the sporting ambitions of Juve. The salary doesn't matter here, huh, guys. Even if you go at 6 million euro, tomorrow you have another club is coming with 10 easily. So it's not that you give 6 and that you're out of danger. That's important for chat to know, to understand. If you give today 6 to Yildiz, today in the summer there is a club easily Chelsea, Arsenal, Barcelona, they come with 10, and your 6 million euro increase makes no difference at all. So if we are speaking about salary, it doesn't change. Absolutely not. Of course, you are more comfortable with 6 than with 1.7. That's what he's earning today. I don't want to say here, I don't want to put a bit of fear to the Juventini that are watching that Kenan will leave. I'm just saying that affair Federico Chiesa, to me, Chiesa, I'm not a big fan of the player. I'm not a big fan of the player on and off the field. But I can understand that it's a player that, if he comes, can do and will do well. It's just that I don't understand the signing. And honestly, if I am Chiesa, and if I have the opportunity to play, because if he wants to play, and there are clubs in Italy that are calling. You have a Napoli that is fighting for the Scudetto, where he will be a starter. You have a Roma that is fighting for Champions League qualification. I don't know if it's a bit less pressure or not, because Roma, it's a difficult spot, but where he can find himself, he will be a king there. Huh? He will be a king in Roma and a starter. So, it would be more logical if he goes 6 months or maybe to relaunch himself to one of these clubs, than coming to you and knowing that you are a vice Ken and Yildiz. It makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense.
Sporting
Then
reasons, it makes no sense the way he left, and the baggage of his previous tenure and the injury and the departure and what was said in the news, and the sort of the mudslinging a little bit between club and play. Like, that's why you don't get back together with your ex, Beppe, is you can't escape the baggage that pre-existed. And
is
so,
he overrated?
yes,
but Chiesa,
massively,
well,
massively.
certainly now. I mean, in a year and a half, he averages 30 minutes an appearance at Liverpool with barely 8 goal contributions. I mean, he's done nothing for the last year and a half.
Is it because, I will be the devil's advocate, is it because Arne Slot is not giving him time, or he can't provide what Arne Slot wants in terms of physicality and continuity, and that's why he's not
If
playing?
if you're a good player and your coach sees you every day, and he may not like you, and I can understand that some coaches and players don't like each other, there's no chemistry. But if you're really that good as you think you are, you say you are, then you find the spot in the team. I'm almost certain that every coach, a winning coach, has had players, if they could choose, they'd not, put on the pitch, but they cannot get around them because of their performances or their training methods or what they perform during the week. If you're that good, prove it to him. Make it so substantial that even your teammates are going to say to the coach, "Hey, coach, did you see what this guy's doing on the training pitch? We need him in the team because we want to get, top of the table or qualify for Champions League. We need this guy. He's on fire." And if he doesn't provide you with that, and even with Liverpool, where every good characteristic player is loved by the fans, he isn't even loved there. He Liverpool fans, and I know a couple personally, just don't like him about, his attitude, his mentality, the way he handles certain things. For me, Chiesa, off the pitch, as a human being, and I know some stories, and I know Beppe does too, I don't like him. But if you ask me, is a player that can change a team? No. I dislike a lot of players who can change a team. Chiesa is just not one of them. Let's be realistic. And I hear people in the chat saying Liverpool fans love Chiesa. They don't love him. You can check Liverpool subreddits. You can check Liverpool forums. It's more like they're mocking him a bit. They're mocking him a bit. It's not liking him. He doesn't make a difference, and he won't make a difference. He'll never be that top player that we thought he was going to be, especially after that injury, the way he carries himself. These are just things. For me, it's a big question mark, and I wouldn't spend any time nor financial resources in, finding out what the deal is here. I just say move on, because this minestrone riscaldata, I never liked it. I'll never like it. So that's up to me.
Let me say thank you to a few that were writing in the chat. Some people said thank you to us, like Thomas Pecorelli, that said, "Hi guys, huge fan of both channels. Just want to say thanks for all the hard work, and you can see all the effort that both channels put into your prediction." Grazie, Thomas. Thomas, that a lot of time is quite harsh in some comments, and then you see that he's always coming, always writing beautiful things as well. So that's what I really like. Some people, they don't agree, they agree, but they find a place here and on your channel, guys, to be free and to speak about you. That's the most beautiful thing. So grazie, Thomas, but also thank you to Rad. 50 mesi, 50 months as a member here. Thank you, Beppe, for me. More than 50 months of brilliant Juve coverage. You have created Juve International, one-stop shop for everything related to Juve. Un grazie di tutto cuore. Thank you, Habibi. Thank you, my friend. I'm sad. Last year, I was already... I don't know if I already came back or I think I just came back from Saudi Arabia, from Riyadh. That was a fantastic experience. Fabione 45. If I don't know if you want to add something more about Federico Chiesa, but I think that the three of us, I'm a bit surprised, but the three of us said, Leali, grande Leali, what a save from the ex-youth academy goalkeeper from Juve. Mamma mia. What a save from Leali.
Beppe hasn't heard a word we've said this whole episode. He's just watching his favorite player ever, Rabiot, play against Genoa.
Look, I really don't care. For me, can go in Serie B. I will celebrate because I'm a Juve fan and I don't care what they do when they leave. Then if you tell me, Beppe, you can choose between Inter, Napoli, or Milan to win the Scudetto.
Milan, hands down.
Then I go for Milan because Rabiot is my friend, because I have a lot of respect for Allegri. But now I'm happy. I can't wait that they lose. I can't wait for them to lose. No, I don't care. I really don't care about Adrien Rabiot. And by the way, I wished him a happy New Year. He didn't answer. So attention, Adrien. No, he didn't see my message. Usually he's answering. He didn't see the message. Is there something that we need to add for Federico, or we can go to a bomba news from the latest hours? Fabione is saying, for 36 million euro, I bring Cope myself to Turkey.
Yeah, me too. Me too. The question is, does Cope want to go to Turkey?
Voila.
No, but does that hold on? Does that cover his book balance? 36?
Yeah. For about 95%. Yes.
Yeah, between 36-40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bump it up to 40. Bump it up to whatever the balance is, and I agree.
But Galatasaray said 30 million option to buy, and Juve said no. So I made a video about it a bit earlier. Not everyone had the opportunity to watch it, but I said at the moment we know Comoli is saying no, you can do whatever you want. If he had in mind that he will not give you on loan with an option to buy for 30 million, he will not do it. Of course, Galatasaray is trying. It makes totally sense. But they are really seriously interested. Then the big question is the one of Frederic. Because I can reassure you one thing. I can promise you one thing. Probably the most Juventino from our 25 players is Koopmeiners.
It's Koopmeiners.
I promise you it's true.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
will mock, they will laugh. It's true. Dai,
No.
same level as Locatelli.
Yeah.
He's
He
a huge
really...
Juventino. Yeah.
Yeah. He really... I think one of the stories I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, my source didn't confirm, but there was this rumor going around that he bought on auction a signed Roberto Baggio jersey from Juventus, and it's hanging in his home in Turin. And he was spotted in his childhood with some Juventus kits as well, and things like that. But he's poor, so move on, ship him to Turkey. But he won't accept. He's not gonna go to Istanbul, I think.
Impossible.
He's not gonna go. No.
And the thing is, if the money doesn't make sense, Kamoli has said, and he said this over the summer, if the money doesn't make sense, he's not going to force a deal, even if a player's underperforming. And considering the role that Koopmeiners is playing, not the role we bought him for, mind you, admittedly, but that this role he's performing on our team right now is Spalletti getting the best version of Coop that we've seen in the black and white. And so you don't force a deal that doesn't need to happen. You don't sell a guy at a loss who's plugging a hole in you right now. Okay, that's an issue for the summer, for the future. If he's serving a role right now as this Braccetto, do it. Because the team has been solid defensively and looking composed, and people who've gone to the game have reported, members of Turin Giants who've gone to the game reported how vocal he is at coordinating with the defense to contribute, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to go on the litany of things here on Koopmeiners, but you don't need to force ship him out just because he's not playing the position you bought him for. He's not a problem in the squad right now, so don't force it. Unless we get up to the book balance and you convince him to go, because then you can convert 40 million into a couple of plug-in pieces.
Look,
can I predict the future a bit?
Oh dear.
Or shall I?
I just watched it. Leao 1-1.
1-1. No, it was something about Koopmeiners.
Well, let me just answer this one really fast, because you said that being a Juventino is not enough, but that's not what I said. I said the fact that he's a huge big Juventino will make it extremely difficult for him to leave. I didn't say if you are a Juventino, I'm a Juventino. I will never play for Juve, no. So 1-1. Tell me the future.
Monday, Tuesday at the latest, we will see reports coming in of another club interested in Koopmeiners.
From where?
And a club. They've asked me not to speak too much, but it'll be a club more to, let's say, his standards, because there's an official offer in from Al Hilal already for Koopmeiners, which he rejected immediately. No, he rejected immediately. But I'm very confident that Monday or Tuesday we'll see media reports of another club. And it's not the Sint-Truiden, Raz.
If they go back and watch it, I'm scared for a penalty for Milan. But that's wait. If I'm thinking about his level, forget about La Liga. That's not his. That's not its league. Germany could be good for him, but the problem is that in Germany, or you go to Bayern, or they cannot match the salary. So forget about Germany. So it's Premier League. It's Premier League. The problem is that I don't know enough Premier League to understand where he could be needed in what team.
Well, and to take the flip side of that, Beppe, what has he shown as a midfielder in the last year and a half to show any team that he could fit in a role in their midfield? I mean, you have to go back to Atalanta replays to see what he can do on a team. That's a long time ago. And that what's really worries me is his best run of form is at a center back, which he doesn't want to play. And so you have to convince a team to pay 40 million euro for a midfielder who can't play midfield.
But that's what I said in today's video. I said, look, guys, I really like the guy. He's really an enjoyable person. Seriously, I met him, I talked with him, really nice. But the problem is that in 18 months he didn't show anything last year at all. This year, when he showed, it was as a left center back. The problem is that, first of all, we don't play that much anymore with that typical left center back position, one, and two, if you can choose between Kelly and Cope in that position, you go for Kelly because Kelly is his natural position. So he would not even be a starting left center back. He would be a vice left center back, because we saw it against teams like Napoli, teams like, I don't remember who we played before, but when you have these fast dribblers a la Neres, a la Orsolini, even if he didn't play against Bologna, but whatever, he's in difficulty. He's really in difficulty there. He can really do well.
Rigore.
C'est penalty, sa. There we. Oh yes. Attenzione. I will just take off the comments for a second because you always have like 10-15 seconds ahead of me.
Live cast it for us, Beppe. Walk us through what's going on.
But we have time here. Huh? You want the live comment?
Yeah, of course.
No, talk us through. I'm not watching the game. My focus is on you, okay? I know I'm not going to get the same treatment in return, so you might as well talk us through the...
So I took away the comment because they are a bit ahead, so I cannot be spoiled. Attention, because they are showing again what happened. Mamma mia, it's an assassin tackle for the number 33, the new Paolo Maldini Bartesaghi, that went with an assassin tackle on a 1-0 in injury moments. We have a penalty for Genoa. In the last few seconds, they could go at 2-0, which would mean they won, which would mean Milan lost their game. The ball goes on the spot now. Ostigard is watching. They're still checking, so it's still not 100% penalty, but I don't know what they are checking.
If that's not a penalty, then we shouldn't give out any more penalties ever.
Because they are protesting with the ref cam. It's even intimidating how Maignan and Tomori are going. Attention, because Maignan is also risking. Maignan is going with the hand on the chest. He's not even the captain. Yeah, he's captain. He can speak. He received a yellow card. De Rossi is going totally nervous. It's 1-1. Sorry, guys. It is 1-1. It is not 1-0. It's 1-1.
It is tied. Yeah.
It is 1-1 because indeed Milan equalized right before. Mamma mia, that. Yeah, that's a penalty. That's a penalty.
If that's not a penalty, then nothing is.
I'm curious who will take it from Genoa, because I don't know who's taking. Maybe Malinowski is still there, but I think he went out. He was subbed out. Maignan booked moments of tension because they gave 5 minutes of injury time. We're already at the 97th minute. 97 minutes with De Rossi that goes totally crazy because he could beat Milan in San Siro. Pavlovic, yellow card also for him. It's important for them to be booked. I always support yellow card FC when I'm hate watching. Attenzione, because we are waiting. We go full screen now with the number 8 that is putting the ball there on the spot.
Who is that? Stanchu? No.
I will tell you in a second. 19 penalties against from Maignan. He saved 4 of them in total in career. The number 8 from Genoa. I don't know who's that guy. I don't know the face. Wait. Anyway, he's putting the ball on the spot. Maignan is walking. And we are waiting. We are waiting for Maignan to stop walking the dog.
Number 8, is that Stanchow? I don't know how to pronounce it exactly.
Yeah,
it's Romanian or I believe.
Yeah.
He will go with his left. The ball is on the penalty spot. Maignan is intimidating him. Both hands. He's not even really central on the field. He's not on the line, so he will be obliged to do 2-3 steps back. That's what he's doing now on the moment, touching the bar or trying to touch the bar. It's 1-on-1. A victory for Daniele De Rossi against Milan. He goes with his right foot into the... Mamma mia! Oh, he shot over the goal! Roberto Baggio reincarnated in Stancio. Attenzione! No! Oh! Allez!
For those listening,
That's
the
cool.
look on the faces of the two gentlemen on either side of me, pure despair on one side, disgust on the other. Hey,
Ma questo è scemo.
But that's the problem. They have these techniques. We don't run too much. Why are they doing? I don't understand that. Take a penalty like normal.
hard to the corners.
Maignan.
Would have been so good for us.
Was it worse than David? No.
No,
David
no.
Look,
really
I defend Jonathan David all year, but there has not been a worse penalty I've seen maybe ever than that one. That was terrible.
I've seen better penalty kicks taken by people in wheelchairs, and I think that says a lot.
It was really, really bad. But I saw a highlight and skills from Jonathan David, and he already took some penalties exactly the same way. The thing is that the goalkeeper was or on the left or on the right, so the ball was in and nobody was complaining. Here, the problem is that and it was bad, and the goalkeeper saved it. It was really, really bad. Who were we speaking about before the missed penalty? Because
Turin.
No, he will not leave. He will not leave. But I also added one thing on the video of today. I said he will not leave. So you should show something in the midfield, not in defense.
The only position he can play in the midfield is that Locatelli deep lying role, and he really only showed success with it when he was playing with Moretti. They showed really good cohesion when they play together with their movement and their interchange. So if you look at the midfield and you say, okay, how are we going to use this guy? Let's go back to what's worked. Him in the deeper lining position, him playing with Moretti, who syncs with his movement better than Moretti has seemed to sync with Locatelli. But that means you take Locatelli off, and as the Locatelli defender on this particular program, that's a tough sell, except for just squad rotation, which means that Koopmeiners is a vice Loco.
If he's not able to win over Locatelli, over Thuram, or adding himself in a 3-man, I don't care. If he's not able to do it in the next 6 months, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
I think if he doesn't do that, he'll be gone in the summer.
Yeah. I think as
regardless, even if we lose money on the deal.
And you talk about a guy who's he's Juventino. He said, "I don't want to go." Like, we all have to be honest with ourselves. We've I know Federico and I have played football. You get for a long time, you get into that position, and something's not working, even if you want it to. And so it's you as a player know you need a fresh start. Even if you don't, nobody wants to accept that they were a failure. But I think he would be honest with himself. Everyone's got to be honest with themselves that sometimes in some places, we've all experienced, forget on the pitch, in our jobs, right? Where sometimes it's just not working. You need to change.
The question for Fred, I think it's the Alex, thank you for the donation, but I think that you just spent $2. There was no way to spend $2 in a more stupid way than that you just did. I think. Yeah. But let's see the answer. I say thank you, Alex, but let's see the answer. Fred, you have to bring one, Chiesa or Dybala. Let's see if Alex...
Dybala, even if he's in crutches and he's unable to play,
seriously?
I'd rather have Dybala, just pay him, than have Chiesa. Yeah.
Actually, Alex, you did well.
Yeah. No, so I was going to say Dybala too. Beppe.
Crazy guy.
No.
If I can choose none of them, I'd be happier to be honest. Because if you can create one player with Chiesa and Dybala and some sort of, how shall I put this, Frankenstein experiment, you won't even make one good player out of both of them. So, but if I have to choose, Dybala. And I'm Beppe, can I say something that I maybe will regret tomorrow?
I've launched
Is that okay with
in the chat.
If I can say something that I'm gonna regret tomorrow, Beppe, the reason why is when Chiesa was still a Juventus player, he was on the verge of leaving. Well, actually, he was being shown the door, so to speak. We all know the stories. Um, and I had an audio clip of this. I had to delete it because you can only listen to it once, like in WhatsApp with the pictures and all these things. There was a discussion, and I don't know the whole context, uh, but Chiesa actually said in that discussion, I don't give a fuck about the history of the team. Just show me the money, something along those lines.
Frederic, you do
It was
know that we can all spell, right?
yes, but I'm doing this for YouTube's algorithm because they haven't come that far yet. They haven't come that far yet. So for Chiesa, and feel free if you can add something to this, Beppe. It was almost always about the money, at least in his final steps within Juventus. It wasn't about, as they say, playing time or extending his contract or blah, 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 blah. It was more about financial issues. And for him, the salary was the most important thing. And yeah, for me, then as a Juventino, then you kind of lose my respect a bit. But that's just me. If you make what was it? What was he on Beppe? 4.8 net
Five.
when he left? 5, yeah.
Yeah.
If you make 5 million, we supported you during an injury, we kept you on, and then you just come out and say, hey, but I want 7, or what he was asking, 6.5. I don't know. I don't even remember.
I don't. It's no, but I reacted. I reacted immediately because I'm not a big fan of Dybala, how he left, and also it's not a player anymore. We need to be serious. The
No,
guy
but
is not a player. Is not a player anymore. It's like I don't know, something that is moving there in slow mo. But on the other side, I know that Dybala, and that's really sincere. He always, always, always loved Juve. Honest love, and is still regretting how things went. I didn't like how Dybala behaved at a certain moment because he didn't manage well the fame. He managed it actually really, really, really bad. Chiesa, I don't like. I don't speak about the reason why I don't like Chiesa, but that's why I'm happy that Federico is here so that he can take all the blame. No, but
yes,
Federico, I always said it. Not a big fan of him on and off the field. On the field, because if we are really honest, how much did he play well at Juve? Not a lot.
8, 10 games.
Chiesa won his first season.
The first season.
Yeah,
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
it went
Yep,
downhill
yep.
from there,
Mm-hmm.
even
Yeah.
prior to the injury.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that, because we always tend to, and that's a typical Juventino kind of thing. When we have an Italian player who does fairly well, we compare him to the greats. He's the next Platini, he's the next Del Piero, he's the next Vialli, he's the next whatever. He's not. I'm sorry, he's not. And that was my point previously, because if you're such a good player, then Slot shouldn't be able to put you on the bench or not select you. Then you should prove yourself in training, and Slot can't bypass you anymore, or whatever. So all this emotional and true Juventino and real. I'm sorry, if I look at the statistics, if I look at the games he played very well for Italy. But he
You know
didn't.
why? I vote Dybala for what reason? Because I know that at least he will not pretend to play because he cannot play. But you know what's the problem also with Dybala? He cannot play on the left.
No.
Dybala is a 1-foot player.
Well, but he
Yeah.
also doesn't have the physicality, even when perfectly healthy, to play on the wings. He has to sit in the middle, and he's kind of stationary. See, I would sign Dybala not to play him. I would send him to every single Juve academy in the world and help rejuvenate sort of the international recognition of Juve. Make him like when Red Bull brought Daniel Ricciardo back to just fly around and use his goofy humor to get people interested in the same thing. Ship him across the world, allow him to garner his interest, and bring people back to Juventus. That's what I would
What
do.
I do like feel a bit bad about, how would it be to see Prime Dybala paired with Yildiz? Like
Ah,
Dybala on
yeah,
his number 10.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
With
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, ah, if we could just have like one game of that,
Romance.
that would,
Romance. I mean,
With prime Pogba in the middle.
oof, next to Vidal and Marquisio.
You know that
We
Pogba
can
is waiting for Monaco Juve to score his first goal. Huh? You know that, huh?
oh, it's
To
it's it's
eliminate
written. It's
to
written.
eliminate us from Champions
of
League. You know
course,
that. You know.
of course,
It's
of
written.
course, and he'll celebrate too.
Yeah. Let me check because there were some questions as well. I had a schedule, I had a planning, but people they want to go from left to right. Love the podcast with the Giants. Ciao from Beirut, from Carlitos Way. 28 months as a member. Grazie, Carlitos. Jawad from Canada. Thank you, my friend. I think Fede is great and would help in a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, it could, but we already spoke about it. The problem is if you put him in a 4-2-3-1, you don't solve the initial request of Spalletti that is looking for a vice Kenan Yildiz. But yeah, it could. And then going towards Fabio alla fine. Thank you, my friend. Ciao, guys. Great stream. How optimistic are you to get top 4 if no new player comes in January? Attenzione.
I'm very optimistic. Very optimistic. I think what we've seen in the patterns of play of the last 10 games, right? 8 wins and 10. The draw being the debacle at Lecce. We outplayed them start to finish. Many opportunities to score. That team finishes top 4, no doubt. With the way we played, the way we conducted ourselves, Bologna, Roma, 2 teams. And Bologna's gone on a run, a dip in form, but at that time, good form. Roma's been playing fantastically all season. The way, the character we've shown, the improvement we've shown, especially in the midfield on the defensive side, where we were really shaky early, has all the ingredients to make top 4 in Italy. Not only just optimistic, but very little doubt, assuming that there's no injuries. And that's kind of where the new players come in, is depth in certain positions. If somebody gets injured, could derail that quickly. But if people stay similarly healthy, no doubt.
If we can reach 4th place in this Mickey Mouse League, I'm sorry, but this is not a competitive Serie A. We dropped so many points and we're still in 4th. Granted, our run has been good lately, but we were at a point we were 6th and we weren't winning even. We stayed, humping back between 5th and 6th, and everybody was losing like above us. So it's doable to get 4th place, but I'd like to see the team, how they perform under match stress, in the sense that we have 2-3 games in a week or 10 days. Because now we have a week, we're prepared. There are no international breaks. We had the holiday. So it's a lot easier for you to focus on that one game that you have at that point, rather than to jump on and off a plane, have one practice, and then start your Champions League game with a Coppa Italia game following up, or a Serie A game following up. I'd like to see how they do there, because I feel that physicality is also a weakness, because you could see at times Spalletti is forced to make substitutions just due to the fact that the players can't handle a full 90 minutes in the way that Spalletti wants to play, with that high pressure, with that back and forth, with that box to box action. So I'm curious to see how the team will respond when there's more games in a certain shorter time period. But that's just me.
I think the one that will qualify to Champions League is the one that will fix the strikers. I'm not speaking about Mercato, because the question was without Mercato. The one that is fixing their attack between Roma and Juve goes to Champions League. That's the reality. I think that 4th spot is really doable, but at the moment the reality is that Roma has the same point as us, and they were not scoring a lot. So if they are finding a way, like last game where Endovbik and Ferguson were scoring, then we see another Roma.
Roma is imploding a bit, though. I've heard talk about, Gasperini
Yeah.
not being
Gasparini's
happy.
grumpy. Yeah, he's grumpy right now.
Maybe, I mean, this could work in our benefit, but even then, even if that wasn't the case, with the team we have, with the lack of competition, with the lack of
And what about
yeah,
that other annoying team that is always there? Mamma mia, when they will come collapse? They annoy me with their stadium at the lake.
Como,
Mamma mia, I hate that team so much.
they won't
Send them
make
back in
this.
Serie B. I hate them. No, too. I don't like when we are overhyping a stadium at the lake. It's a disgusting stadium.
Yeah,
Mamma
It is.
the stadium, the lake
disgusting.
is beautiful. The
Yeah, but the
stadium,
lake is beautiful.
the
Yeah,
stadium,
yeah.
not so not so much.
Yeah, go and visit Como, then
Yeah.
the city. Don't go at the lake. Don't go at the stadium. Mamma mia. No, I hate it when the American channels they are overhyping Venezia, Como. I don't care. This is not Serie A. This is Serie C. Look at the stadiums in Germany in second division. They are more beautiful than us. You know.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
me, it's not acceptable. They should not have the right to be there. And by the way, if they are fourth and Juve is fifth, they should be taken back the Champions League qualification because the stadium is disgusting. Voila, I said it.
It is. It is. I grant it. I grant it. Yeah,
If
yeah,
you're
yeah. I
unable
mean,
I
to have
with
a
disagree.
stadium,
That's
then you don't
no.
deserve to be in Champions League.
I mean, you don't deserve to play in that stadium for the Champions League, but you can't
No, no,
strip them
no.
of Champions League. So they go place just like
what,
Atalanta did that first year. They didn't
what,
play in Bergamo because it wasn't up to it wasn't up to
Yeah, and
standard.
they should not have played the Champions League.
They deserved it on the pitch.
Go
what
in
what
Serie
I
B.
find what I find really strange is we are 4 years in a row that we're under like this magnifier from UEFA, getting sanctioned left, right, and center. And somebody comes says, "Oh, what a beautiful lake! Oh, they have a stadium as well. Let me invest." And all of a sudden, those people, those investors, can invest whatever they like, even though there's financial fair play, there is this, there is that. They can do whatever they want. They can go to Madrid. They bring in Nico Paz. They pay him like peanuts. Um, that's all possible. That's all doable. They have a shirt sponsor who pays almost as much as Jeep pays us. Tell me in what world that's normal and nobody is like, oh, but it's Como. It's the underdog. It's so nice to have a stadium by the lake. If you miss a penalty, the ball falls in the lake. Oh, I, it's too manufactured. It's too. I like squads with a real history, like Milan. Milan has a history. They forged their own history. They have a shit stadium as well, but it's still one of the most iconic stadia in the world.
You
It's an
can at
iconic
least say it.
team.
Yeah,
Voila.
I'm surrounded by two haters right here. Right, history's got to start somewhere, gentlemen. I mean, history's got to start
Yeah, but it's
somewhere.
easy like that. Like Frederic says, you take the stadium, you invite a bit of VIPs there. I don't know the trend of Como. Oh, you know how much they spend? They spent
Yeah.
more than all the Serie A.
Yeah,
DJ, they're
spent
spending a
a
lot,
lot of
and nobody
money.
say
Yeah.
like Fred is saying.
Yeah.
I don't like the hype of CBS. They are paying CBS to promote the beautiful environment. I don't care about the environment. Yeah, it's nice if you have a fan. Like there is a stadium I don't know where there. It's really beautiful, and you see all the mountains. I think it's in South America. I don't know what stadium it is. Monterrey, I think. Fantastic, but the stadium is beautiful. And on top, you have the paysage, the background. Here, guys, we're speaking about Como. The stadium is disgusting. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't deserve to be in Serie A.
Yes.
Build the stadium and come back.
One text message. One text message. I'll never forget. I'll never forget one text message. A friend of mine went to the stadium. He texted me. He said, "This is a joke. €7.50 for warm beer and €3 for an espresso. GTFO." Enough said. If you charge €7.50 for warm beer, done, done, done.
Hey man, don't come to America and don't go to an American football game. You're going to be paying a lot more for that for poorer quality beer.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Como. It's not the NFL. It's not the NBA. It's
Yeah.
Serie
The
A.
same
It
stadium
shouldn't
as
even be
Union
Serie A.
Saint-Gilloise, huh?
No, no. because then that's the charm. Then you have a proper underdog team who doesn't buy into the hype but just plays good football without any dubious sponsorships or whatever. You have those teams. I root for those teams. I love those teams because those teams make history on their own. And that's good because history, as you said, Sek, has to start somewhere. But history can be bought. And that's what they're trying to do. Buy
I
history.
agree. I agree.
Can
Venezia,
can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Just real. How hard is it to build a new stadium in Italy?
Not hard. It's not hard.
And
It
why
isn't.
why doesn't anybody else have one except for like 3
Because
teams?
because
Because
nobody wants to invest because it takes a whole
It's,
lot of
it
time to
it is
get that
not
money
about that. I
back.
mean, Roma
that
owners come in, please, 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 please. Milan, how long is Milan trying to have a new
they
stadium?
don't want. Zach, they don't want. That's the reality.
It's it,
It's a
it,
beautiful way to involve the fans to say, we
Yeah.
want, but they don't let us.
hmm
How many times
hmm
did they made the 3D graphics and it was all approved, and then suddenly it didn't happen? I believe that I saw these mock-ups of San Siro in my life. I thought I saw them like 15 times, different mock-ups with different, and every time it was approved, and then suddenly something is happening. It's true, it's true. I totally agree that the administration in Italy, municipation, they want to keep it for them own. It logic, because of course, if they sell it, and they don't have the rights anymore, so they are doing difficult. They are extremely difficult, but on the other side, the clubs, they are happy also.
Also, when we came with the stadium, Agnelli was prepared. He had the money to buy the ground as a whole because we bought more ground than Dalle Alpi had at the time for the parking, for also the shopping center to help Torino a bit in that regard because Torino was suffering because of, Fiat was moving parts back and over, fabrication plants in Europe. You had the whole kitchen and marble industry, which was very prominent in Torino. That was already leaving, and so Agnelli came up with an idea to satisfy also the people and the people in the council of Turin, and he clearly said, if you don't approve of this, I'll just move out of the city and I'll buy land somewhere else because I'm Agnelli. And then the city council like, oh yeah, this is Agnelli, he puts his money where his mouth is, so it's better for us to agree. Now you have all these funds and LLCs, and they talk and they want to keep the fans happy, but they'll never pull out a move like Agnelli did at that respect. So
Because they don't care. Wait, because I had some other questions here from Roberto Vacca. 7 months. He had about 10 games plus 2-3 games at the Euro. That was the answer to our question before about how much did he do well at Juve. Federico Chiesa. I believe that Roberto Vacca is more of a hater than the three of us combined. Then we have Cicciolino that is writing Chiesa, Yildiz, and Conceição can cause serious problems. Well, Chiesa and Conceição cause serious problems at the J Medical. On the field, on paper, yes. On paper, yes. Yeah. Grande Ciccio. And then Fabione is writing, let's say if Spalletti started the season with us, what place do you think it would be? And that's a comment that I wanted to answer, because Mikel, he annoyed me again, because it's a war between Mikel and myself. Where is the comment of Mikel that annoyed me? I need to go back where he says here. So, Fabione, I will answer taking the comment also of Mikel, where he says, we blew our season with the draws at Torino, Fiorentina, Verona, and Lecce. First of all, leave me alone with Verona, because Verona was the biggest robbery of 25-26 so far.
Yeah.
And I'm not even telling you that we deserve one more point against Lazio, first of all. And we played shit. We were really bad against Verona. But I always say, the performance can be criticized, but the result can be influenced. And the result has been influenced by the referee back then. Torino and Fiorentina, ragazzi, the coach, he arrives. He doesn't even have the luggage in his J hotel. They were really bad at Torino and Fiorentina, but probably would have lost these two games if Tudor was still there. Could be, Then I agree, Torino and Fiorentina. Lecce, ragazzi, it happens. Who would have thought, honestly, that if when look, if we were here and I told you, okay, happy holiday, guys, we see each other in 2026. Bologna, Roma, Pisa, Lecce, Sassuolo, we will have 4 wins and 1 draw.
Nobody would have believed you.
I didn't believe in it neither. So, and also, Bologna, Roma were convincing wins. Pisa, nah. Lecce was a convincing draw that I hate.
I mean, we had every opportunity to win that game. Penalty aside, we had so many quality chances.
It was like it was one chance after the other, and then at a certain point you thought, well, they're not gonna keep missing these. Guess what? And the only thing that Spalletti could do at that point was come in himself and shoot a penalty or score a goal. But I mean, for the rest, he did what he could do, and that was just unlucky. And those unlucky games will happen to other teams as well, in my opinion.
I said after Bodø/Glimt, we were here. I said Bodø/Glimt is not Leipzig. It's not Inter comeback. Do you remember I said that? I said it will be a different one, the Bodø/Glimt comeback. At the moment, I was right on that. It's a total different, because Inter, Leipzig comebacks and victories or draws when we came back, that was the moment where everything collapsed. After Leipzig, and then we collapsed because we were in good moments when we did also that, and then we collapsed. Here we were in a bad moment before Bodø/Glimt. We came from Torino, from Fiorentina, and they showed that they believed into a new project, I think, and we see it. I tell you, to me, Spalletti just missed the Napoli game. Another thing that he missed, and I was pissed off with that, was that he didn't enter Pedro Felipe for 1 minute against Sassuolo. I was pissed off with that.
His time will come.
No, he will go on loan in a Serie B team. He will not come.
Because the time but his time will eventually at Juventus, I mean.
Nah, but I mean, why is he entering Jagrova? We don't need Jagrova. We are winning 3-0. He already played for. And by the way, from what I heard, he was even thinking to start Jagrova, but Jagrova in training session again, he was not 100%.
Jagrova's a bit disappointing. Can I say it?
Chiesa averages more minutes per game than Jagrova. Barely.
Yeah, and not only like 10 years ago.
not only like minute wise, but if we count all the minutes, I venture a guess that he has about 240, 250 minutes played up until now.
It's not a lot.
Which is not a lot, okay, but he didn't, 0 goals, 0 assists, 250 minutes. That's 3 full games. So I mean, we're very harsh on a lot of players, and sometimes we see somebody that does cute tricks with the ball and is this futsal type of player and has technical ability. Yeah, pre-assist. Pre-assist.
What is the team there from Bilzen? They are playing 5-a-side in Bilzen. You don't know the team? It's really funny.
Yeah, I know the team, but I can't recall the name. But I know it's. But it's with a number of those things. I mean, and football in that respect is a bit mad because my hometown team is in the 2nd division of Belgium, Patro Eisde. They're getting Nainggolan in on a transfer. Like, he has no business there whatsoever.
But do you remember when he was at Antwerp, he was smoking on the bench?
Yeah. I mean, and and everybody here is cheering, like, we're gonna get Nainggolan, but what does he offer? Like, sometimes I'd rather have an unknown player bring something to a team that you are not aware of, that he blends in really well, adds something, another layer to the team. And for me, I don't see it happening with a Chikova and also with a Conceição. Let's be real, we paid enough money for Conceição. That was one of the criticisms Zach and I had during the summer, that we, in our opinion, overpaid Conceição. And
It was not
Yeah, but
producing at the level.
nobody will tell me that there was already a tricky triangle there between Alberto Costa, João Mario, and Conceição. I tell you, Porto, they wanted Alberto Costa, but they couldn't get him. They found a deal with Giuntoli. We give you at the end Conceição, but bring us Alberto Costa. You go here, we give you. I am 100% sure that Comoli arrived. He said, "What can I do?
yeah,
Or why is he there? Why is he there, João Mario?" But anyway, that's the only thing that I blame Spalletti is. No, you know why? Because Pedro Felipe is coming from an injury. He needs playing time. Because we have so many injuries, he's always called up. And it's an honor to already be on the bench of Juve. How many people can say that? But on the other side, we were really bad in closing games. I was asking so many times, I want to close the game. One game. Give me one game that we can close earlier.
yeah.
And then you have it. And I don't know when it will happen again. Give him that minute. Just because you're taking him away the chance to play at the moment since how long now? Months, huh? You know,
Yeah.
to me, give him that minute. Then I understand that he's not there for charity. I totally understand. But you know, that would have been the icing on the cake to me. Then at the end, I don't care. It's not my friend, Pedro Felipe. He would not have given anything. But you know, put Kalulu on the bench or Bremer on the bench.
I disagree with you, Beppe. At that, the
At
value,
3-0.
the value of a clean sheet exists. 3-1, you say 3-1, 3-0. What's so? There's a genuine value in a clean sheet. And the last
1
15 minutes,
minute.
the last
Zach,
15
1 minute instead of
last-
Jagrova.
the last 15 minutes. I mean, we had
One.
gone into our defensive shell. I say you hold on to the clean sheet. And the signal is that you don't send out a victory cigar when you're trying to, in post games, tell everybody how much we still need to work on stuff and how much we still need to win, still much to grow. I don't think it's an aligned message. Your message as Spalletti is we're still flawed. We have to get better. We have a long way to go. Don't talk to me about a Scudetto. Then you don't send out a victory cigar to get 1 minute of cap to say, ooh, whoop-de-doo. No, you say, hey, look, we've got a minute left. We're going to put on a guy who's going to help us get through after the next couple of games, a very tough run of games on our schedule. So,
Also,
I mean, the flip side is if you're Juventus, if you want to win, if you want to drive people on the ground, if you want to signal in every move you make that that's what you're about, you don't put them out there for 1 minute because that's not what that signals to anybody. Signals that you're happy. We beat Sassuolo 3-0. Look at us, how good we are. No, that's not what we're about.
I don't agree.
I'm not saying that this is the case, but a lot of things that we do not know, and I've heard this before, is that a lot of next gen or B team players have this kind of clause that if they play only 1 minute for the first team, that they cannot be put out of the first team or have to train the whole year with the first team or even cannot be sold in that season or on a trade. There are some clauses that exist.
Yeah, I forgot them
So
now, but I
maybe
knew them. No. It's
maybe it was
absolutely not
because
with
of
1
that.
minute.
I don't know. I have no
No,
idea.
no. The rules I remember because 2 years ago someone asked and last year as well, and I told them, but it was absolutely not with 1 minute to be played. He will anyway. He will be on loan. I understand what you mean, Zach, about that. Let's go and show that we want even there and a clean sheet. I understand, but by the way, if you put Jagrova in, you are more exposed to concede a goal than if you put Pedro Felipe. To me, but I understand what you mean, and it's just like it's weeks now, months that he's there on the bench. Put him in
Yeah.
at one. I'm not asking 15. I'm asking at that minute. It's a reward for a kid to say, you see, also me putting all of that was rewarded. Tomorrow he will be loaned out to a Serie B team. Correctly, it has not the level to be a starter in Serie A. It will not. It just that at the end, you play João Mario. If you play João Mario, you are not at the 3-0. You are not looking for the clean sheet. You are there to so that people they don't forget that he exists. That's what they did with Joao Mario, because that's
You dust off the shop window.
Yeah.
You know?
Who wants to buy? Who wants to buy? Who wants to buy?
It's true.
Yeah.
But at least he's a professional. You know, at least he's a professional player with over 200 caps at a top level, over 30 in the Champions League. I mean, it's a different stature of player you're talking about.
It's still Joao Mario. The whole Joao Mario thing still baffles me, because I was pretty excited when we got him, because I knew that his defensive capabilities weren't that big.
I come back. I had to speak about Joao Mario, because anyway, I will do a Joao Mario. Wait.
Okay. Because we
doesn't want to
about,
talk about Joao Mario.
No, I understand, but we were very positive about the signing in itself. I think, Zach, I think we'd agreed there that for the price that we paid, we potentially have a very good player on our hands. And a lot of people are going to be mad now because that we sold what was his name again?
Alberto Costa.
But I mean, and with the benefit of hindsight, it didn't look as bad as a deal as it is now, because if you're not playing him, then he's a bit redundant at that part. Or would you play him more than he's playing right now?
So Joao Mario, the reasons why we were not excited might be a little bit too aggressive for what we did, but we were positive and optimistic of what he could do. One had to do with the fact of how Tudor plays in a 3-4-2-1, which has been different to how Spalletti's been playing, because he's been slowly morphing the team. Even when we do line up in a 3-4-2-1, we sort of bend into this 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 hybrid situation anyways. Yeah. So when Joao Mario came in with a transfer fee of what, 10 less than Costa, so 10 million euros give or take, with over 200 caps in the Portuguese league, over 30 caps in European football, you say is an offensive wing back in a team with no wing backs. That gives us a lot of opportunity and flexibility to go forward, which especially was difficult last year, where we struggled scoring goals for much of Mota's reign. So we looked at that, of the low cost, his salary fits middle of the pack, and we said he could be a really good alternative option, right? Not an everyday starter. We didn't say that, but for the price we got him at, with his offensive proclivities, he could really be a change of pace substitution or rotational piece that would fit really well into our squad. What's so baffling is that Tudor doesn't play him, and he so very clearly doesn't fit in Spalletti's vision. So when Spalletti came in, we said it, that he probably doesn't have a place on this team.
Nope.
So I'm not surprised he's not playing right now, and I wouldn't play him more by virtue of the direction Spalletti's going. Tudor being fired, rightfully though, really I think killed his opportunity to have an influence on Juventus.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this was a pre-done deal.
And this is what Beppe said, right?
Under Giuntoli's umbrella too, and then it's difficult to back out of these situations, and you're left with a player that's pretty much redundant and useless, even with the type of coach that we had. But it is what it is. I just hope they can offload him very soon, because either you play him or he's of some value to the team, or if you don't and you already know that you won't, then it's time to move on. But I mean, something's got to give. I'm just hoping that a fairly good offer comes in, which I doubt.
I mean, but think of it this way: what if we get a 8 million euro offer? That balances the books. I mean,
yeah.
the amortization is so minimal that, I mean, people pay 8 million euro for way worse players than Joao Mario.
Yeah.
And unlike Coop Miners, he's only 6 months removed from being a sort of a starter, or at least a everyday squad player. Coop Miner's been a year and a half removed from being any form of himself. So I think you can leverage that into something if a couple people come knocking, and with the three-man back line being, I think popular across leagues now, I think an offensive right wing back could interest some folks.
Dai,
Yeah,
Joao Mario out.
out. Basta.
Basta. Openda, no, because I start seeing some strange things about Openda. Fenerbahce is interested, but he cannot play there, guys. Just to be clear, for what you will read online from people that are reporting and things like that, he already played for 2 clubs this season: Leipzig in the beginning of the season, Juve, which means that this season he cannot play for another club. He cannot.
Nope.
He can sign for another club, but he cannot play. So it would be totally, it's not feasible for him in a World Cup year to say, oh, I go to another club to sit there just to train there. So Openda stays at Juve. Jonathan David, is it enough, the performance that he delivered against Sassuolo to convince?
No, not by far. And that's what we talked about in our previous podcast. It was like everybody was Jonathan David, man of the match, Jonathan David, revenge arc. And it is true, he played one good game, but let's not forget the dozen of games that he played, because prior to that, and I'm going to repeat myself, he'd scored 1 goal in the end of August in Serie A with Juventus as our striker, adding even more minutes or almost as much minutes as Vlahovic. So on one hand, we're burning down Vlahovic. He earns too much. He blah, 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 blah. But Jonathan David, who earns quite closely next to Vlahovic, I think it's $500,000 a year, just not this bonus year, but an overall, he didn't perform. And we're like, yeah, he's back. Iceman this, Iceman that. Pump the brakes. Let him perform. Let him repeat this performance at least 10 times until the end of the season. Then we can talk.
Attenzione, mercato bomba. Contacts for Fratesi between Inter and Nottingham Forest.
Oh.
Yep.
Take them.
Attenzione,
Please.
guys. Attenzione, guys.
But that's not good for us.
You always need to think one step ahead.
Douglas
Because
Luiz.
if he goes there, Douglas Luiz, they will. You know that he has a 45 minutes appearance obliged to be to be signed. He missed 6. If they sign Fratesi, Douglas Luiz comes back, and then, my friends, you never get free from Douglas Luiz.
No,
well, Artur's still on our books, so we have to worry about him first.
No, not for long. Not for long.
Oh,
Artur will be probably bought by Grêmio for not even 1 million euros.
Yeah, no. Just
it's gonna be like 750,000 euros, I heard. But he'll be off our books. No more wages or sharing in the wages or whatever. So that's a good thing. And about Douglas Luiz, 6 more performances. So
6 more 45s.
I really don't want him back. Yeah, 6 more 45s. I really don't want him back. No.
Well,
no,
to go back to Jonathan David, if I may, he only has 1 goal contribution fewer than Vlahovic across all competitions. I know everyone cites the Serie A numbers. Obviously, he's produced slightly better, still underperforming in European competition. The important thing or lesson from this last game, and arguably Lecce too, because I thought Jonathan David, but for the penalty, had a very good game against Lecce, is proof to the fans that the player that, like, I personally was talking to you about Beppe, because I know you weren't convinced when we signed him, and I said, no, I'm all for Jonathan David. The player that we saw in this last game, and arguably the last 2 games, was the one I envisioned in his contribution to Juventus when he joined, a player who is proactive in the build-up play, extremely active off the ball, and comes up with poacher goals, which is exactly what he did. It's almost baffled me somewhat that we haven't seen it to date. I think the important thing with this last game is he proved to himself, he proved to the fans, he proved to the team that he is the player that we bought and that we all said he could be, that put up 184 or whatever it is goal contributions by 25 years old. Now it's on him to build on that consistently. And I think Spalletti and how he's managed a lot of the players, not always Jonathan David, because whenever he has a good game, he seems to be on the bench the next one. It's up to Spalletti to put him in that position to try to eke that out of him, because I agree with you that it comes down to which forward, Roma's or Juventus's, are going to get online. Well, Openda versus Roma, David versus Sassuolo, we've seen a couple in the last month of good performances. Let's get the manager to give them a run of form or put them in that position to give them that chance so they could be the players we know, David of past, Openda from 2 years past, that we know is in there.
And I saw some questions in the chat. Douglas Lewis coming back, maybe Spalletti. Douglas Lewis is an ex-player. His injury, his professionalism, all these things, the breakup with his ex, his injury, all these things contribute to him not performing. If you have that type of player, not even Jesus Christ can revive him. And he's still having troubles with the injury that, he had in the beginning with us. It's the same one, huh? It's the same one. So for me, that's not an injury that's going to go away. That's an injury that you need to maybe rest a year for because it's a pubalgic injury. You need to have surgery, whatever. I don't know. I have no faith in Douglas Lewis as a player.
The sale price isn't very good. I think we lose money on the Douglas Luiz deal, but I agree with Beppe in that we want that purchase price to be exercised so that we can be free and clear from a book standpoint, from a mentality and squad building standpoint. And so I'm really hoping that he gets those 5 or 6 more appearances, so that because then we're queued up net over 100 million euros from transfer fee obligations.
Ma guarda un po'.
Yeah, I was showing for people that are listening. I'm showing the injuries. He already missed 8 plus 4, so 12 games with his team now. So yeah, it's problematic.
He's been injured for 60 days. That's more than 2 months if you count in football terms, even 3 months because there's only 20. But never mind. The deal turns into obligation within 6 games. He needs to play 6 halves of 45 minutes at minimum to basically trigger the deal. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they'll do whatever they can not to trigger the clause.
Also, because Nottingham Forest, I don't remember for what player, but they already did the same thing not with Juve, but with another player. I don't remember who, where they at the end they didn't play the player anymore, so they were not obliged to sign him. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they shut him down. Yeah.
If they go with Davide Fratelli, that's why when I see it, I said like, let's see.
But I don't think they'll pay asking price for Fratesi. Inter's asking 36 million.
It's crazy.
No.
36 million for a bench warmer, really?
So Fred, let's close with who arrives. That's my question.
Who arrives?
It's 3 weeks that people are waiting here to understand who will arrive. We were waiting for Fred.
Can I ask Frederic? Frederic, who is more likely to arrive? Senesi, Neves, Schlager?
In January or what? Because neither of those guys will arrive in January.
Okay, that's all free transfer end of the season. It's not one of the situations where we sign them on the free and then we work out a couple of million euro deal.
Senesi is a priority at this point for us because this is someone very well thought of, highly regarded by Juventus management, but we have a lot of competition. United, Barcelona, we have to beat that competition, and if we get them at a free transfer, it would be an amazing deal. And I think we're working towards getting more of those players in. Schlager, I'm not so sure of. I know there's a lot of interest, but I hear he's been struggling with another injury. He's very injury prone.
He's been broken the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and as for Guido Rodriguez, as I see this name popping up in chat as well, he's the backup plan. We can sign him in 5 minutes, make a cappuccino, and everything's done. He's waiting. He's checking Ryanair schedules on when the next flight to Turin is to get that flight. But he's our backup plan. I think after tomorrow or maybe Saturday, a lot of things will become clear after After what my source says will be a big meeting. I don't know in what way, shape, or form.
Saturday they will meet.
Saturday. Okay. Yeah, I was told
Saturday
Friday
big
or
meeting.
Saturday. Okay, so I think then we'll see a week with a lot of movement. As for now, I'd say Senesi is the focus. Chiesa is the opportunity. We're working there. I think Comoli has some aces. I hope aces up his sleeve. But I agree with Beppe with the fact that Ottolino won't interfere too much on winter mercato. If we're smart, and that's a big if, mercato wise, I'd focus already on the summer. I start working towards the summer because January, as is a very difficult market. You either overpay or you get leftovers. There is, for me, not one single player that meets the standards that we meet now. To get some depth into the squad, sure, but spending this much money to get extra depth is a bit silly to me. I'd rather have them working quietly behind the velvet curtain, ensuring that we have two, three, four quality entrances in the summer than just now spending just to add some depth, which we might not even need in all honesty, because we've shown last 10 games that the people who play their minutes they try to do the best they can. Whereas in the past we didn't have that. So I'd rather focus on the summer, in my opinion. But if I were to call out a name, I think Chiesa.
Answer the last question so that we say goodbye to everyone, because that's a question from Colo that is asking which one is the strongest one between Real Madrid Juve 1-1 in 15 or Juve Barca 3-0. I already have the pictures here to refresh the memories of everyone. We start with Real Madrid Juve in 2015. Buffon into the goal. It was a 4-3-1-2. Yeah, or 4-4-2. With Buffon into the goal, Lichtsteiner, Bonucci, Chiellini, Evra, Pogba, Pirlo, Marchisio, Vidal with a diamond midfield, Morata, Tevez up front. And that's for Real Madrid Juve. Or Szczesny into the goal. No, sorry. These are the substitutes. Buffon into the goal, 3-4-1-2. Buffon into the goal, Danilo, Bonucci, De Ligt, Quadrado, McKennie, Arthur, Alexandro, Ramsey, Morat. But that's not the right one.
No.
No,
No,
it's
That's wrong.
Chiellini,
no.
Bonucci, Sandro, Dani Alves,
That's the wrong one.
Yeah.
That's the wrong one.
Pjanic, Khedira, Dybala, Higuain, Mandzukic, Cuadrado.
Here, 2017. That's the one. Wait, no, that's also another one. Wait, I don't find it, guys. Here, is it this one? Probably it's this one. With Buffon, Dani Alves, bravo. Buffon,
Yeah.
Dani Alves, Chiellini,
Yeah,
Bonucci,
that's the one.
Alessandro, Paolo Dybala, Khedira, Pjanic, Juan Cuadrado, Higuain, Mandzukic.
Yeah. For me, the Juve Barca one, just because I was there. That's
Magic,
the only reason.
magic
That was the
moment.
only reason. Yeah, that was the only reason. It was
Dybala
a magic
masterclass.
Dybala masterclass. I see
Mhm.
Messi soaking and sulking around the pitch and complaining and bitching, and I loved it. Like Messi didn't even get to touch a ball against Chiellini and Bonucci, and I absolutely loved it. I don't know why. I don't know why. It was just one of those magic nights. Everything clicked. It was a warm evening as well. It was April, and it was about during the day. I think it was 30 degrees Celsius. So it was, for me, it was the first time with my wife to the Allianz, the Juve Stadium back then. So I have a lot of fond memories on that night. And the way that I saw Juventus play was a bit unexpected because nobody prior to the game, because it was a very strong Barcelona side, expected us to come out all guns blazing and just being that ferocious and bloodthirsty, and it was amazing to see. So for me personally, but it's packed in sentiment, of course, and not just squad strength, but for me that was the best team.
I go with the one against Real Madrid.
Agreed. I'd go 2015 as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
objectively.
probably the weak point when you're looking at At the image is probably Morata, but even
Yeah.
Morata was good. Lichtsteiner on the right, Evra on the left, that midfield of Pogba, Pirlo, Marquisio, Vidal. Strong. It's really strong. To me, Real Madrid Juve one. The other one is not bad, huh? If only we could have that one. I've never been a huge, big fan of Kedira. He was a good player, intelligent player, but and never been a fan of Alexander, even if in that period he was really, really strong. But I am no.
I think it
And
comes down.
unpopular. I have never been a huge, big fan of Mandzukic. I liked him. Huh? I like. It's not that I don't like. Huh? I think he has been a bit overrated by the short sleeves in the snow.
I never liked Higuain.
I like this Mandzukic way more than Higuain, but
I never liked Higuain. Like
but when
I was even opposed to him signing, especially for that type
For
of
that
money
price.
back then. Yeah,
Depends,
because
huh? Higuain and Mandzukic, if you tell me they are available and they come to you, I'm happy, huh? Because they are
I
much
go take
stronger
them
than what we
myself
have.
with the bike. I'll even ride my bike to wherever they are and put them on my back and ride to Torino. But for me with Higuain, it just felt forced. It felt like more of a dispute between Napoli, Juve, De Laurentiis, Marotta to see
Yeah,
who has
yeah.
the bigger one. And it wasn't that I not to get me wrong, he did great for Juventus, but also there you saw that rapid decline. Like the first season he was awesome, and then it went lower, 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 lower. And
Yeah.
then, it was close to 100 million that we paid for him, like everything that we earned from Pogba. You'd expect a Pogba type of player in return, and we didn't get that. And I think that was the point when Juventus started pivoting
Yeah, yeah.
because we went
Yeah.
into panic attack and started splurging around money because 2 years later we went up and bought Ronaldo, who also did very well, scored a lot of goals for us. But that was so un-Juve that Juve changed to not being Juve anymore, and that for me was the tipping point because we always bought players that weren't truly expensive or renowned, but we made them into expensive or renowned players. And then we kind of let go of that magic formula and thought that we could just buy quality and buy companionship and a team and awards. And it just didn't pan out that way.
Quick point on that is and obviously the money in football has changed over time. So take what I'm about to say with that in mind. I acknowledge it. But if you look at, within the last, 9 years, give or take, whatever that 2017, so 9 years, and you look at how many players we've bought for 40 or more million, starting with like Bernardeschi and stuff, and you look at how many of them actually panned out to be worth the money we spent. Then you look at before, and the markets were different, right? But if you look at the players we bought at the prices we bought them at and the value we got for them. And that's why when I look at these two squads, not to say that 2017 was a bad squad at all, but 2015, the players, when you go down that list, largely are the players against whom we compare all the players to Juventus. Like they are elite. They are the barometer. And that's why I say like that 2015 team is because from a quality, not just a romance standpoint, but a quality standpoint, the team building and who the quality on the team was unparalleled. Go back and look at the money side of it too. Go back.
I will
and
make
look
you
at the money
happy,
side.
Zach. I will make you happy. Look at what I tweeted today. Today I tweeted, "You're not ready to have the discussion, but at today, Jonathan David is better than Pio Esposito." Our friends from Inter, they are pissed off with me, but I really mean it as well.
I
Huh?
agree. Absolutely.
They are
I
pissed off.
I have this. I don't know if it's an espresso cup with a tiny bit of espresso in. This espresso cup is even better than Esposito. So don't get me started on Esposito, please. What a
Honestly, I like Pio Esposito. I really like him, huh? But I am against the over PR that Gazzetta dello Sport is going for that kid. You didn't ask for it.
hide.
Yeah, but it's over exaggerated because he's doing nothing. He's the die.
Every single goal he scored, it was for 3 years ago for Spezia. I mean, pump the brakes, right? I mean, it's just a young kid, but there's no comparison. There's no comparison.
Look what they are writing today. Then they are making me hate a player that never asked to be hated.
Don't hate the player, hate Lacazette.
Look, a desiderio puro, which means he's pure desire, will, è vita da afferrare. He wants to go with his life for it. Gioca ogni minuto come se fosse l'ultimo. He plays every single minute and like it was the last one. The bar is taking him away an important goal. After the break, so we're speaking about 45 minutes. No, they are not speaking about the 85th man. He starts to decrease until the change. He receives applauses from the stands. Die. They are exaggerating. Every time it's like that. The guy normally.
It's that cheerleader newspaper that you're using. It's
yeah, but but the problem is that USA fans, some USA Juventini.
Excuse me, hold on. I'm listening.
No, I said some. Not
okay.
all
All right. Well, I gotta defend my people here. So I'm listening. Beppe, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, you tell your people that they are crazy. They need to stop with sending hearts to Serie A because Serie A it's the beautiful, it's the great. Basta. Oh, ragazzi. Oh, I hate that love things of we need to be politically correct. I hate it so much. Oh no, but we love Inter players if they are Italian. They are doing well and great and fantastic. Like my friend Marco, I'm fighting with him every week. Fratelli will be great at you. Yeah, no, he will not be great at Juve. He's a shit player. He's number 7 in the list of the midfield of Inter. There is a reason if in the last 3 years he's not playing like 15 starts in the season. There is a problem with the player, no? Like last time he was speaking about I don't know what player. No, Marco, no, basta.
Yeah. Fratesi, let's leave it at that. Fratesi is hopeless. I don't want him.
Well, I don't know if he's hopeless. I don't want him at Juventus, and I don't think he's a player that's going to solve anything in the black and white.
We need to start scouting more in Belgium, France, Netherlands, soon.
Balkans.
Yeah.
A lot of talent in the Balkans.
Up with this overrated Italian. But he's Italian. So what if I find a homeless guy here on the street? I have to bring him to Juventus because he's Italian.
But Frederic, how many Italians did we bring in over the summer?
0.
I mean, but that's my point. Is Comoli's looking elsewhere?
Yeah, but if there's no quality, regardless of the nationality, then it's over and done with. Like, if you cannot make a team better by signing, regardless of the nationality, don't sign him. If McKennie tomorrow says I leave and you take Fratesi, that's all good and well. But please know, if McKennie leaves, you need to bring in at least 2 players for that position because McKennie does the work for 2 players.
You didn't give me the name that we signed this summer. Say it so that we can close.
Summer.
No, the winter.
No, winter. He said Chiesa. Beppe.
I said Chiesa.
You said it's a done deal.
No, I'm not saying it's a done deal. I say that it's my feeling that we'll sign Chiesa. But now I'm very curious to hear your name.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You have a feeling. You have a feeling. You have and how shall I say it? You have a desire at least.
No,
for one of the names that we saw.
I have a fear. I have a panic mode.
If you say Fratesi, I'm closing the.
Okay. Hey, Beppe, it's a safe space. Tell me your fears.
My fear is Chiesa.
Yeah.
My fear.
I can imagine, but it's the most realistic one at this point for the winter, and this is what makes us so scary.
Are you convinced about Tonali?
No.
That's a good question.
No.
Or is it because he's Italian? You're not convinced about you don't like. No. You don't want him.
The money, even if he was my favorite player in the world, Beppe, the money doesn't make sense.
For 100,
the money doesn't make sense. The transfer fee, the amount in his wage, it doesn't make sense. I don't. As of now, unless something materially changes in Juventus's business model and Comoli's transfer model and all of that stuff, I don't see why we waste any time talking about Sandro Tonali. The money does not make sense.
Get me Ruben Neves. I'm even more happier, and he cost a whole lot less.
He scored
My
with
opinion.
Al Hilal.
Yeah, for me, that's the prototype of a player that we need.
Ruben Neves is top, but he will not move.
We'll see.
It's summer.
That's what I'm saying. January is so difficult. Why should
January's-
we now chase names? And Juventus is considering a new proposal for Liverpool. Man, stop it. Leave Chiesa where he is. Stop picking up the phone, talking to whoever is in charge at Liverpool, and focus on the summer. You have a chance to bring maybe Ruben Neves in, Bernardo Silva, Senesi. Focus on those guys. At least you know that you have quality instead of taking another gamble, minestrone riscaldata,
I would
paying
do a
left, right, and
midfield
center.
of Tonali Kessie in the winter.
Say that one more time, Beppe.
Midfield 4-2-3-1. Tonali Kessie. I like.
I'd go for Kessie right now.
Kessie is
But-
much more of a realistic option in terms of money than Tonali. I literally, like, we've talked about it. There were rumors over the summer. There've been rumors trickling in over the winter. There's rumors again. The money doesn't make sense. We're being investigated for FFP violations. But likely we'll get a fine.
If you take
Forget about it.
Bernardo Silva, Senesi,
Mhm.
Kessie, there are 3 players for free.
Mhm.
You invest the money on Tonali, not 100, 75.
Swap deal, maybe?
You have
Player
Chiesa
plus
there
money?
in front. You sell Yildiz. Yeah, people are crazy. People will kill me.
Beppe, you're hurting me. You're
People
hurting
will
me.
kill
I
You're-
liked
you're
it until the Sal Yildiz part,
hurting-
but
you're hurting
this is
me.
this is something which is very, very possible and very
know.
doable. And I think because of the lack of movement that we see right now, that this is probably one of the pathways that Juventus is trying to follow. Therefore, trying to bring in already somebody like Senesi or whatever, just to have that option closed and the ability financially and time wise to work on other important players, because I do feel that in the summer we'll bring in important players. I don't know why. I have that feeling that if we make 4th place, we'll bring in some heat.
Beppe
think
didn't
we-
listen to my lecture about looking at players we bought for over 40 million euro and how many of them panned out good, because the answer is not any of, like, almost any of them. So,
No.
so
Even
lesson
worse, one of the cheapest players that we have is one of the best and most consistent, Lloyd Kelly. He
Kalulu,
wasn't.
Kelly's top.
Kalulu, what
Yeah.
was he? 15 million. Yildiz, 1 million, give or take, from Bayern. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and
Smart
as you
business.
can,
look at the 2015 team, the teams that that Beppe pulled up, that Colo told us to look up. What did we buy those guys for?
Yeah, but
all
it's
on a
different
free,
era
a
now.
lot of
But that's my point. What Frederick's talking about is bringing guys like Ruben Neves and Kessie and Senesi on a
Yeah.
free. Build. They're all 28. They're all the same age. They're all in their prime. Neves is, you're coming from Al Hilal, but he's playing well there, and he played at extremely high level at Wolves before.
Yeah,
It's like you're
you
talking.
need
you
to agree.
the right
Look
way.
at what he's earning, Zach. He's earning 20 million euro a year. 20 million euro. He will be free at the end of this
Mhm.
season, but then he needs also to agree to go back to 5.
Mhm.
So some players, they said, okay, I did 3 years because that will be his 3rd season now. 20, 60 million. I don't need money anymore. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. But it's in the past we had this. We are Juventus. We have a new stadium. We won a lot of cups. We're consistent in Champions League. That era is gone now. So you have to compensate one way or another. And usually, what does the trick with football players? Money. And that's also something that we cannot offer in great lengths. So it leaves us a bit vulnerable in the transfer market. So we have to think of another way how to get those players in. And if you do that premeditated and you start already in January preparing for summer, then you're doing something well, because you have a lot of time to at least get 1 or 2 players in, which are your pillars, your base, which you can build on, so that the summer isn't as hectic and as frantic. So I'm really hoping that they ditch this whole Chiesa, Fratesi, Rodriguez bullshit. Just leave as is. Focus on Senesi, eventually Bernardo Silva. Maybe try for Ruben Neves. Who knows? It doesn't hurt to try.
Timber. I give you names. Timber.
Yeah.
Quentin. He's been linked with a lot of clubs. But that's a deal. And we've talked about this, Frederic. Because he's played well on Feinhord, right?
Yeah.
That's a guy you gamble on a bit because I don't know if he can make the jump, but that's a guy you come in like I don't think he has the profile of Thuram when we bought Thuram as a sort of gamble. But I think he's a guy you can roll the dice on, especially if you're going to lose McKennie.
Yulman.
Who?
Yulman.
No. Pass.
Alexander Toth.
Pass.
Not yet. Yeah. Not yet.
Kulierakis.
Who?
Kulierakis. It's observed, huh? Observed player.
Yeah, but they're a short list of 100 names.
Mingueza.
Never even heard of it.
Norton Coffee.
Get him now.
Interesting.
Today.
Yeah, interesting name. It's how do you work the deal? Because the finances. Ottolini's got the inside scoop, but how do you work the money?
Adzic. Mm-hmm. Adzic on loan. Norton Coffee on loan.
I will be against my don't pay too much to Italian teams, but who's the player that you need to go for?
Tell me. Us. Yes.
Palestra is much better than Nerd. I would be happy with Norton Coffee, but Palestra is the real name.
But I think Norton Coffee
will never sell him.
No, but the difference is Norton Coffee can play as a center back if need be, while Palestra can't. So it would make sense if you could buy both of them. But if I could choose, I have to choose between the both of them. I'd take Palestra as well. But I'm also
Goretzka.
No, pass. Useless. Sorry, I saw 2 games of him prior to the holidays. I saw him when he was being subbed in.
Samarsic.
No, pass.
Yeah, I think that ship sailed. Coyote.
Yeah, Coyote
is on the list. Huh? He's on the list.
Yes, I'm leaning against.
Coyote is a good one. You forgot
Valentin Barco.
No.
Marmouche.
Too hype.
Yeah, no.
Kushanov. Maresca will go to Manchester City. There will be a revolution there.
We'll see.
Pep Guardiola. Dai, boom. Pep Guardiola.
Yes. No. Mai. Treno passato. No.
I don't think so.
Give me Spalletti. Give me 2 quality midfielders and a killer of a striker.
Luis Enrique, the coach. Huh?
No.
Pep and Luis Enrique come from squads that are gazillion dollars and largely carte blanche. Going to a team like Juventus is, despite our stature, we're penny pinching right now. That's a completely different environment. Pep Guardiola hasn't had to worry about money as a manager in 15 years.
You know who is a player? Here, I tell you a player that I would love, but it's impossible. It's not even talked about, and I think that he's a good one. It's a midfielder.
You're gonna show us?
Yeah, he is. He's pulling it up. You can hear him tip. He's got a mechanical keyboard. You can hear it slapping away.
I'm very curious right now. I'm really anxious even. Pepe, come on.
By the way, this is the first time we've ever hit 2 hours, gentlemen. This is our longest episode.
Pepe, I want to know now.
Zaire Emery. I'm in love with that player. From Paris.
Isn't Zaire a country?
Zaire is a country. Warren Zaire Emery. They're really good.
Doesn't ring a bell. I'm sorry.
There's no way.
No, but I don't know. The problem is with Paris Saint-Germain, they are overpricing, so you will never get him. But the problem is that he's not playing there. He's playing as a right back. That's where he's playing. Why he's a midfielder?
He's a midfielder, yeah.
He's 19, but there is no space between Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz. There is
and there's no way for Colomwani buy him for 80 million. I mean, that's the way they operate. I mean, there's no way.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Colomwani return.
Oh, so you're feeding in all those people posting on social media about him versus
not now, as in, but if Vlahovic will leave, we need to replace him. It's as simple as that. We need to replace Vlahovic. And if we need to go for a Belgian player, if gun to the head, not on the cut.
That's my boy. That's my boy, but Bayern Munich.
Yeah, not only Bayern Munich.
I know that Juventus,
Arsenal.
they said, we will start observing him. Yeah, but it was a bit late, huh?
Yeah.
It was too late. Yeah, it was too late. It was last summer, I think, already. The end of last season when they started sending scouts. But yeah, by then you have Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Bournemouth. I don't know. There's a list of. Yeah.
These players. You know what's the problem at the moment in Serie A? I don't want to make it a Juve thing, but the real problem is that you cannot. Now, what you offer for your top player is what the huge, big, rich clubs are paying the
Mediocre
of 17, and then they loan them out to their second teams. Strasbourg from Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them they have? They send them there on loan for a few seasons, and then.
It's corrupted. We close.
But
it's corrupted.
Yeah.
Beppe, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna ask you one question.
I was close. If I don't like the question, I stop.
Okay. As good as I know. Would you mind joining Zach and myself somewhere in January in a scoop episode to talk about Mercato?
Yeah, but you will have nothing from me. Yeah, but I can.
We want your comment. We want your devotion. We want your insight. We want your. That's why we ask you, Beppe.
Yeah, tell me when, and I'm here. The Fridays, no, I cannot. That's a fact. I'm gone to Gubbio. Let me check. The 16. So, but before that,
we'll set something up. You heard it here first. Beppe to be on a scoop episode, a live one. So stay tuned. Thank you, Beppe.
Or before that, or after that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens because if there's nothing to talk about, it'll be a boring episode, of course. But
there is something to talk about apparently, because last minute is Juventus. Proposal from agents for Thiago Almada of Atletico Madrid. For now, just an idea. For Chiesa, who remains on the radar, there must be unity intense regardless of the formula.
Never heard of interest in Almada, but could be.
24 years old.
Yeah.
Look, you see,
he has an interesting story, because he was brought up into that Botafogo, Lyon madness, and he spent a lot of time in the United States for Atlanta. He was their best player, which is ultimately which got him scooped up and brought into the ranks. So interesting story from after he left America with the transfers and everything, and the interclub deals and financial madness with him. But he's a solid player. He would be the vice Yildiz.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And he can play on the right too, I think. Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's something I can live with. That's if we need to choose between him, and I never seen a play. I think if we need to choose between him and Chiesa, please get Almada, and please.
I don't know if the money wouldn't really make sense, because He just was bought, right? I didn't really wasn't watching too closely when you pulled it up, Beppe, but he was just bought. I think
but he wants
for a
playing
decent
time, I think.
change. Well, then that would be what, a dry loan with an option, probably 20 million.
You never know. Worst comes to worst, we get De Chilio for 0.
Well, Atletico Madrid, they if they like Nico Gonzalez.
I mean, he's set though he's set to trigger that automatic buy clause.
But that's fine. If they like him, we can talk. We have an open talk with Atletico Madrid. That's fine.
Yeah,
Decrease a
well,
bit
it's
here.
a friendly club. Yeah.
Dai, buonanotte, Fred, Zach, and all the chat. Today we were with a lot of people, which made me happy. Make sure that it's on not only during the Mercato, because we need to increase every single week more. Thank you for the people that are watching in replay. Thank you for the people that are listening to the podcast. Grazie, forza, Juve. Ciao.